Lara Gut and Marcel Hirscher arrived in Sölden as the number ones of the sport after lifting the overall globes in March at the finals of St. Moritz, and left Austria knowing that they can still compete for the big globe this winter as well. So what do the Swiss and the Austrian have in common, other than not being the tallest of athletes? Both have been very closely followed by their fathers. In the case of Gut, her dad is the technical director of her private team, while for Hirscher his father figure is a little less involved, although Ferdinand is a constant figure at the finish area of every race.
We start skiing together, Marcel and I, in the age of 2 years, and it was all the time to see that he was a very big talent, and we are walking through the years, and from little success until big success.
And who better than a father and coach to describe the skills of his son?
Yeah, he's a fighter. In every situation, he tries to ski the best performance. What is possible? But he is very, how must I say this? Very down on the ground.
Parents are always very important, and in my case, my dad is as well very important for me, for my sport success, and that is something that is not usually, but it comes more often and more often. I mean, Kostelic, Lara Gut, Mikaela, Shiffrin, who else? Christofferson, Mark Girardelli, yes. So many good role models we have that are, trained and grew up with their parents. And I mean, that was very successful and important for me, because if you change every year the whole coaching team, that is sometimes annoying. I mean, and I always worked with the same person, and that was perfect.
Enough to make him win 5 overall World Cup titles, something only achieved by Mark Girardelli before him. And so we asked Mark, who also built his success around the presence of his father and coach, what he thought about the achievement of his successor.
It's a fantastic performance from Marcel. 5 years on such a high level. Not even Ingemar Stenmark was able to do that, I think. Maybe Ingemar, but nobody else. And I'm really honored that so many people ask me about Marcel. But anyway, I don't feel so lonely anymore on the podium with 5 cups only. But I saw that Marcel is something very, very special before he won races. 6-7 years ago, when he was already very, very fast, but tactically not on the right way then. But he proved right that he became a big champion. I'm very happy for him.
So is Hirscher, of course, but his success is like a puzzle, with many pieces that need to be put in the right place.
I'm just a person who is talking at the moment in front of the camp. But 2 technicians, servicemen, they are working behind these walls, and they are working already. I mean, they are waxing, they are sharpening the edges, and there are so many people around my person. And I mean, I'm just as good as my team is. If my technician has a really, really bad day, I have no chance. I can be the best skier, I can be the biggest talent. If I have the wrong edges, there you have no chance to see the finish line.
Even despite some mistakes every now and again, sometimes his fault but not always, Hirscher remains a true world-class skier, a model and an example for everyone, the top athletes and those who would like to be.
First of all, he's an incredible athlete, and ski racing, is just a king of ski racing. I've had a little bit of time to speak to him, and he also seems like a really great, focused person, but nice, and it just does the right thing, and just one of those kind of people that you want your kids to look up to.
There was always a hero, Marcel Hirscher, since I was a child. So standing here beside him, it was like, yay, unbelievable.
we have a really nice record that holds at least for another 6 years. This is something special.
No man has ever won so many World Cups. Marc Girardelli stopped at 5. Amongst the ladies, Anne-Marie Mercer-Pröll did win 6, but not in a row like her compatriot Marcel, 38 years later. It's not over yet, but we can already say that the Austrian season has been extraordinary, a record-breaking season. 5 wins, 9 second places and a third place. The World Cup titles in both slalom and GS and the overall, just like in 2015. And on top of that, also golds and a silver at the World Championships. He perfectly combines attack and control, the will to win with the necessity to cross the finish line to pick up points.
It was for sure another season where you say everything was easy going and everything was super fun, but at the end we managed to find the speed in the technical events, especially in GS. It was not the best, but we managed to get closer, and I think this was part of the success. And for sure, no, did not finish this season so far in the technical events is something special.
But the most unique thing about the 28-year-old champion from Annaberg is his ability to remain well balanced, whether he wins or loses, or whether he is happy or not. And this is thanks to his humility, which was always evident even at a young age, and that has never wavered even after all the success. And some of his earlier interviews conducted with us 8 or 6 years ago confirm this is the case.
My targets are not that big because every year is the biggest goal for me, that one podium. I'm only still 20 years old, and so yeah, I love to ski, and the biggest target is to have fun.
I'm not thinking over the overall World Cup because it wasn't in my goal list 2 months ago, so I'm focused on slalom and GS, and I'm looking forward to each race and going step by step.
Another aspect that has remained unchanged in Hirscher over the years is the crucial role of his father Ferdinand, which he explained perfectly to us in 2011, although it could have been carried out yesterday.
It's not easy, especially when you're young. I think in age like 16, 17 or 18, something like this. It's not easy with your father. We found a good way to speak with each other, and so I think it was the best decision I made in my career for skiing, and especially I was pretty successful in younger years, so I changed every year the team. Yeah, and in the beginning I was in the junior team, Europa Cup team, World Cup team. Every year a change, so I can't be a good friend with one of my coaches, or it was always difficult for me, and so it was very important for me that my father was with me the whole time.
No surprises, no suffering, no stress. Mikaela Shiffrin and Marcel Hirscher arrived in Aspen knowing they had already won the overall World Cup. The final proceedings were a mere formality, a chance to take photos for sponsors and social networks, and to provide some excitement for the American fans gathered to watch the races and celebrate the achievement of home hero Mikaela, who lifted the giant globe for the first time in her career. Mikaela, who lives only a few hours down the road, wanted to finish the season on a high in Aspen, which is why she concentrated her efforts only on her races, the slalom and the GS, leaving the others to compete in downhill and Super G. But on the path to wins number 12 and 13 of her season, the American found some very motivated athletes, like Petra Vlhova, who beat her in slalom after 2 intense runs, and the Italian Federica Brignone, who got her revenge for the GS held in Squaw Valley. The overall wasn't a goal at the start of the season, but the 22-year-old from Vale is once again ahead of her time. She is now the youngest ever racer to have won the overall title.
I've been dreaming about this since I was 5 or 6 years old, and when you have a dream for that long, when it actually happens, you can't say, what does that mean? You know? It's like the Olympic gold medal or any of these amazing achievements. It's so difficult to really understand that, and maybe I never will.
Mikaela was joined on the final podium by Ilka Stuets and Sofia Goggia. Respectively 318 and 446 points behind, while Lara Gut, who was in the hunt alongside the American until February, fell back to 4th place, and the Italian Federica Brignone, thanks to her incredible second half of the season, moved up to 5th. The great honour for Mikaela was sharing this joy and experience with His Majesty Marcel Hirscher, the best skier in the world for the 6th consecutive year.
He's so strong. But what I'm probably most inspired is the fact that he shows up every single day. How he has podiums every race, and I haven't felt that yet. I can do it most of the time, but not all the time, and that's something that I just can't wait for the day when I'm able to do that.
Just like Shiffrin, Marcel arrived in Aspen relaxed but not satisfied, and after a decent race in Super G, he turned up for the GS with a desire to honour the cup he had already won in Kranjska Gora. Mission accomplished with another incredible race. Best time in the first run, the second best time in the second. Raced through the ruts because of the unusually high temperatures for this time of year at nearly 3,000 metres. The ruts and bumps let Marcel down, however, in the final run of the season in slalom, which he dominated until the halfway point, but then a mistake at the very end handed the victory to Andre Mierer. We will let him describe his overall feeling for this season.
What's my comment? Well, beginning was for sure not too easy. 2 guys were definitely faster than me, Alexis Pentiro and Henrik Kristoffersen. But we worked pretty hard and tried to manage it, and we've done that very good is my meaning. And yeah, I think mid of season I've been able to came close to them, and from this side I'm super happy.
There is an abyss between the Austrian and the second in the overall, Kjetil Jansrud, with 675 points separating the two. Third place, in what turned out to be a battle of who made more mistakes, went to Kristoffersen. A great end of season meant Felix Neureuter finished 5th.